a secret director who saved the film from disaster, a legendary line that became iconic through improvisation, and a rival Western that tried to destroy it before it even reached theaters. In 1993, Tombstone rode into cinemas against impossible odds, delivering one of the greatest Westerns ever made, despite chaos behind every scene. These are the cinema secrets you missed in Tombstone.
Go ahead. Skin that smoke wagon and see what happens.
Number 1. Kurt Russell secretly directed. When things fell apart behind the scenes, it wasn't the credited director who pulled the project back together. It was the film's lead actor. Tombstone's production was in shambles after the original director was dismissed and chaos took over. Scripts were being rewritten mid-shoot, the tone shifted daily, and confusion ran through the cast and crew. That's when Kurt Russell quietly stepped into the leadership role. Without demanding credit or attention, he met with producers, rearranged call sheets, and worked closely with crew to keep production alive. Russell essentially acted as the true director, while George P. Cosmatos remained the official name on credits. He reviewed footage, made decisions on which scenes stayed, and personally steered the story where it needed to go. In interviews, Russell has remained humble about his role, but other cast members later confirmed his involvement was crucial. Without his steady hand, Tombstone might have been just another failed Western instead of a lasting classic. Number 2. The original director was fired early. It all started with high hopes, but within weeks, the production faced its first major setback. The person originally chosen to guide the film wasn't a seasoned director, it was the screenwriter himself. Kevin Jarre had written a script filled with complex characters and dramatic moments, but when it came time to shoot, the pace ground to a halt. Production schedules slipped out of control, tension grew on set, and the studio began to worry. Scenes were taking too long to film, and the cast was left frustrated by lack of direction. With rising costs and low morale, the studio made a tough decision. Jarre was removed from the director's chair before the project even found its rhythm. This sudden change created a storm of uncertainty, with the entire production scrambling to recover. The shift might have shattered the movie entirely, but instead it opened the door for the unusual leadership that helped save Tombstone from disaster. Number 3. Kevin Costner tried to block it. Behind the scenes of Hollywood's Western revival, a quiet power struggle unfolded that few fans knew about. While one production struggled to survive, another bigger-budget Western was being prepared, and its star wasn't happy about the competition. Kevin Costner was spearheading his own epic about Wyatt Earp, backed by a major studio. According to several reports, Costner actively worked to limit Tombstone's success, allegedly persuading studios and distributors to avoid backing or releasing the film, hoping to secure the spotlight for his own version. Despite these behind-the-scenes maneuvers, Tombstone managed to push forward thanks to independent financing and determination from its cast and crew. In a twist of irony, Costner's heavily promoted Wyatt Earp failed to capture audience enthusiasm, while Tombstone exploded into a cult classic. It became a story of the underdog overcoming industry politics to win hearts of viewers. Number 4. The script faced endless rejection. Long before cameras rolled, the story of Tombstone struggled to find anyone willing to believe in it. Hollywood producers were not lining up for another Western, especially one that didn't follow the typical blockbuster formula. The script written by Kevin Jarre was packed with complex characters, detailed historical references, and intense dialogue. Studio after studio turned it down. Some executives thought it was too long. Others believed it was too serious or too densely packed with characters. There was even talk that Westerns were already outdated and a project like this would flop at the box office. Instead of giving up, Jarre refused to let the project fade away. He kept pitching, revising, and pushing forward. Eventually, independent financiers took a chance where the big players wouldn't. That decision paid off as Tombstone defied expectations and won over audiences worldwide. Number 5. Willem Dafoe almost played Doc. Casting decisions can change the entire tone of a movie, and this Western nearly went in a completely different direction. Before Val Kilmer stepped into the role of the unforgettable Doc Holliday, another actor was quietly considered for the part. Willem Dafoe, known for his intense and unpredictable performances, was on the shortlist to play Doc. His unique presence and dramatic range made him a strong candidate. However, his recent roles in more controversial films had made some studio executives uneasy. There were concerns that Defoe's involvement might stir unwanted publicity or overshadow the story itself. The risk felt too high for a production already facing budget and creative struggles. In the end, the producers decided against offering the part to Defoe. While Defoe was an incredible talent, fans today can hardly imagine anyone else portraying Doc Holliday. Kilmer's performance became legendary, blending charm, danger, and frailty in a way that captivated audiences for decades. Number 6. The famous line was improvised. Some of the most quoted lines in film history happened by accident, and this Western classic is no exception. During filming, one moment stood out so much that it became the defining quote of the entire movie. Fans everywhere can instantly recognize the words, "I'm your Huckleberry."
I'm your Huckleberry.
While the phrase was part of the script, the magic came from how it was delivered. Val Kilmer added his own spin to the line, crafting the slow, smooth delivery that gave it unforgettable weight. His quiet, unsettling tone turned a simple phrase into an iconic moment. What made it even more special was how naturally it flowed during the scene, catching both the audience and fellow actors by surprise. Even the crew on set reportedly knew right away that this line would become something special. Kilmer's creative decision wasn't rehearsed in any traditional way. He leaned into Doc Holliday's charm and danger, creating a performance that felt effortless but was deeply calculated. Number 7. Kilmer stayed in character off camera. Dedication to a role can completely transform a performance, and one actor took that commitment to an entirely different level. Throughout filming, the man behind Doc Holliday didn't just act the part during scenes, he lived it every single day on set. Val Kilmer adopted Doc Holliday's frail posture, slurred speech, and distant demeanor even when cameras weren't rolling. He kept his distance from the cast, rarely broke into casual conversation, and stayed immersed in the mindset of a dying man. He even avoided normal cast gatherings and remained isolated during lunch breaks, keeping the illusion of Doc's lonely existence alive. This approach made his transformation all the more believable to those around him. Fellow actors often felt uneasy around him, unsure where the role ended and the real person began. In the final product, that eerie authenticity became one of the movie's most memorable strengths. Number 8. Michael Biehn nearly collapsed on set. Intense filming conditions don't just challenge endurance, they can push actors to their physical limits. During the climactic showdown between Johnny Ringo and Doc Holliday, the stress of production took a dangerous toll. Michael Biehn, who portrayed Ringo, endured extreme Arizona heat while dressed in heavy black clothing designed to match the era's fashion. Long shooting days stretched into brutal hours under cloudless skies. By the time the crew prepared for the tense duel scene, Biehn was already battling exhaustion and dehydration. As cameras rolled, his balance faltered and his vision blurred, but he stayed locked in character. The slightly unsteady, distant look on his face wasn't acting. It was a real struggle to stay on his feet. That genuine weakness added an unexpected edge to the scene, turning it into one of the most haunting duels in Western cinema. Number 9. Kurt Russell almost got replaced. Two big studio productions often come with big expectations, and not every actor was considered a safe choice for leading roles. When casting decisions were underway, there were early concerns about whether the project's leading man had enough box office power to carry a major Western. Kurt Russell was determined to play Wyatt Earp, but his name didn't top the studio's preferred list. Executives pushed for bigger Hollywood names who they believed could guarantee higher ticket sales and more attention. Even after Russell secured the role, the pressure didn't stop. Studio heads questioned his appearance, performance style, and even details like his signature mustache. Some insiders revealed that there were ongoing discussions about possibly replacing him if early footage didn't impress. Rather than back down, Russell stood his ground and worked harder to prove his worth. His persistence paid off as his portrayal brought depth and restraint to Wyatt Earp's character. Number 10. Townspeople wanted it shut down. Not everyone was thrilled about Hollywood bringing a gunslinging version of history back to life. When word spread that a big-budget production was filming in Arizona, some residents of the real town of Tombstone were less than welcoming. Local historians and museum curators voiced their concerns, calling the script inaccurate and criticizing the film's overly dramatic tone. Many felt the story focused too much on gunfights and action, ignoring the more complex realities of the town's past. There were even reports of letters being sent to the production team urging them to stop filming altogether. Tensions grew so high that certain scenes had to be relocated, and local officials debated restricting access to specific historic landmarks. Though the filmmakers continued with the project, they were forced to navigate local backlash throughout the shoot. Which behind-the-scenes secret shocked you most? And can you quote Doc Holliday better than Val Kilmer? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and remember, you tell 'em I'm coming, and hell's coming with me. Now like, subscribe, and share before the shootout starts. Thanks for watching.